Hi guys, David here at Reform Physical Therapy and Pilates in downtown Cleveland. This is day one of your 7-day Mat Pilates challenge. Congratulations on pressing play on day one. Today we're going to learn about breathing and body awareness. So one of the foundational principles of Pilates is breathing. We think about it in different ways based on different exercises. So I just want to introduce the different styles of breathing that we do and when we do them and why we do them. So I'm going to start just kneeling down for you. I'm sitting back on my heels. We're going to start with diaphragmatic breathing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have both hands on my belly. And as I inhale, I want my hands to migrate away from my spine. So my abdomen is going to move outward, and then as I exhale, it will move in for that motion of the diaphragm. So I'm just going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I'm trying to keep the motion of my lungs to a minimum here and really concentrate on the diaphragm. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Good. Now we're going to move up to lung breathing or lateral breathing. So in this style of breathing, I want the motion to come from my lungs. I want to expand my ribs. I want to get some mobility from my thoracic spine, the middle part of my spine, which can get so stiff as we get older. So I'm just going to put my hands on the lower part of my ribs, and I'm going to think about taking my two pelvic bones here, these 2 points, and try to draw them towards each other in order to keep my abdomen somewhat firm and braced. I want you to think more about the bones coming together, though, than your abdomen, or else you kind of get stuck in a little muscle spasm. I want you to think about drawing those 2 bones together, keeping them tight together, hands on the ribs, and think about, as you breathe in, just letting those lungs expand out to the sides and those hands move away from each other. So I'm going to inhale, exhale. Good. I'm really concentrating on the lungs expanding outward. Inhale, exhale. Good. My abdomen is staying quiet. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Good. Now we can also do one lung breathing. Okay, so in this way, I'm going to take my right arm. I'm going to bring it down to the mat so I'm bending to the side of my spine. I've got my hand on the bottom of my ribs, and I'm going to concentrate on breathing into this left lung without expanding my abdomen. So I'm inside bend. I'm going to inhale, exhale. It's more of a sensation than an actual big movement, okay? Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Good. I'm going to come up. I'm going to go to the other side. Now I'm breathing into my right lung, biasing the right side. Inhale, exhale. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale. Last time. Inhale, exhale. Lung breathing is not only a useful way to get mobility through your thoracic spine, but it is a way that we're going to be using our breathing during many of our mat exercises and the exercise that we perform on the reformer in order to try and maintain some stability through our low back. So I'm going to go on my back now, and we're going to do some breathing on the back, and we're going to talk about neutrality of the spine, okay? Meaning, when I do many of my exercises, whether it's on the reformer or the mat, I'm thinking about the location of my low back. Is it arched away? Is it flattened? Okay, where should I have it? The answer is neutral. You want it to be in a neutral position, which means it's the midpoint between all the way flat and rounded and all the way arched. So I'm going to find that midpoint by rolling and then arching and then just finding that midpoint. Okay. Other things to think about in this position, I want my feet just right in line with my sit bones here, okay? I want my knees bent equally. I want my shoulders nice and wide, okay? Without arching my back, I widen my shoulders and I nod my chin slightly. This is a nice neutral Mat Pilates position. So I'm just going to do a few diaphragm breaths. So I'm going to inhale, Exhale, let my belly drop. My belly rises with inhale. Exhale, and keeping my low back nice and stable. Inhale. Exhale. Now I'm going to do 3 lung breaths. So I'm going to draw my 2 bony points of my pelvis towards each other. And I'm going to expand my lungs with an inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Feel my lungs expand out to the sides. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now, maintaining my neutral spine position, I am going to just start moving my legs a little bit. So I'm going to use that lateral lung breathing, or that side lung breathing, and that the stability through my abdomen here to try and maintain my low back in neutral. So I'm going to draw my 2 pelvic bones together. I'm going to keep my breathing into my lungs, and as I do it, I'm going to raise my right knee into a march and lower back down. I'm inhaling into my lungs, keeping my abdomen nice and quiet and stable, and I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to keep my low back nice and quiet, and I'm avoiding rounding it, which would look like this, keeping that neutral spine position, making sure I'm just moving from my hip socket and not from my spine. One more time each side. Shoulders stay nice and wide. Chin stays nodded. Good. I'm going to make it a little bit more challenging now. I may reset my low back position, widen my shoulders, nod my chin. I'm going to go up into what we call tabletop position. So I'm going to draw my abdominals in by squeezing my 2 pelvic bones together. Breathing through my lungs, I come in and I come up again, maintaining my low back position, and then I come down and down. I'm up, I'm up, I'm down, I'm down. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. Good. Let's make it even a little bit more challenging. I'm coming up, my low back is in neutral, and I'm touching my toe, touching my other toe. 2 and 2. I should just be moving from my hip sockets, not my low back. Notice how my knees maintain the same angle. They do not change. I'm not letting them collapse like this. I'm keeping it nice and bent at a 90-degree angle. And good. So those are great starters with trying to recognize neutral low back position and trying to keep it as you move. Good. So we're on our back here. So let's move into the bridge. So in Pilates we have 2 styles of bridges. We have one called an articulating bridge and one called a flat back or hinge bridge. So we're going to start with the articulating bridge. So I love to start teaching the articulating bridge, which means peeling one segment of your spine off of the ground or the mat at a time, rather than just going up as one flat back. So I love to start teaching it with a posterior pelvic tilt or a little rounding of my back. So I just start by rounding my tailbone underneath me and flattening my back into the ground, and then I relax it. Once again, I round back and relax. So I'm taking these 2 bones, I'm drawing them back without lifting my butt, and then back down. I'm really not pushing through my heels much. I'm just drawing my 2 pelvic bones back, flattening my back into the ground, and then relax. One more time. Draw it back. Good. And then bring it back up. Now I'm going to move into that bridge. So, the articulating bridge. So, with my hands at my side, I start by inhaling. As I exhale, I start my tilt first. I round my spine, but then I continue to round. I don't let my knees splay open. I keep them squeezed in. I go one segment at a time, all the way up to the tips of my shoulder blades until my ribs are raised so that they're in line with my knees. Now at this point, I'm going to inhale. I'm going to exhale, soften my neck and chest. I put my ribs down first, and I put every segment sequentially down into the mat, and I come back down until my tailbone unravels. Let's go again. Inhale, exhale, roll yourself back, one segment at a time. Shoulders stay wide, all the way up to the tips of the shoulder blades. Out of my neck, I'm not bearing weight on my neck. I inhale, I exhale, I soften my neck and chest, put my ribs down first, and I roll down. Good, let's go again. Inhale. Think of yourself laying on wet sand, and you're trying to make an imprint of every segment of your spine into that sand. Not only on the way up, but on the way down. That'll really make you want to try to put each segment down one at a time. So that is the bridge, another really important motion that we would make in a Mat Pilates class. So learning the differences now is important going forward with the days that you're going to practice with us. So let's get into what's called the roll down. So another really important Pilates move is in a sitting position, learning how to round your spine starting at the bottom. Okay, it's something we do a lot of in our rolling down activities, rolling up activities, in order to really get our abdominals to fire deeply. Okay, so I'm seated nice and tall. Notice how straight my spine is if I'm sitting against a wall. I'm on the very tips of my butt bones. I'm going to hold behind my thighs, okay, just to give a little bit of assistance. I'm going to inhale, and as I exhale, I take my tailbone and I roll it underneath me, and I start to roll back down into a C shape, just to about the level of my tailbone being flat, and then I'm going to keep my curl in my spine. Inhale, exhale, draw myself back up, and then straighten, bottom to top. Most important things to think about is that A, you're not just leaning back with a straight back, and also that you're not collapsing just from the top of you. I want you to think about really being drawn from your tailbone. Once again, we turn underneath. We draw our tailbone underneath us. Good. And then I exhale and I draw myself back up, and then I stack up to vertical. Good. Other exercises we're going to do are going to entail twisting and side bend, so I just want to show you the Pilates style for doing those right now. So I'm just going to change positions. I am going to do some side bending and twist work with you. I have a little bit of tight hamstring, so I'm going to keep my knees straight, but if you have flexible hamstrings, you can bring your legs all the way out. So I'm just going to bend mine just slightly so that I can stay up nice and tall, okay? And so I am going to start with my arms out to the side, okay? And I am just going to take my right arm, bring it down to the ground, and I am lifting my ribs up, up, up so that they topple over without any movement from my lower body. Good, and then I'm going to bring myself back up. Let's go the other direction. So I raise my ribs up, 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 so they topple over, and then I come back down again. So most important thing about that is notice how my knees stay very stable. As I came over, I wasn't turning, I wasn't twisting, that it really was coming from my spine and not my hips. Turning or twisting is the same way, or rotation is what we call it in physical therapy or more in fitness. So if I take my arms out to the side, I am going to inhale, and as I inhale, I rotate. I think about raising my ribs without shrugging my shoulders, and then exhaling back to neutral. Inhaling without moving my shoulders and bringing it back down. So notice again, my knees are not shifting side to side. My legs are not elongating. They're staying quiet, and that motion is from my spine. Okay? So there are some great basics to work off of as you progress through our 7-day challenge. I'm sure I'll see you later on in the week for another workout. Good luck.